Hey there, Amber Housley here. Welcome back to the Bloom and Grow Show. I'm so excited to be here with you today on a kind of rainy spring day here in Nashville. It's finally starting to feel like spring here. The birds are chirping, the grass is getting greener, little buds are growing on all the trees, and I am here for it. Now, what I'm feeling a little bit like I'm not here for is like having everything together at the moment. So I'm recording this, and in my background is just boxes and framed photos or unframed photos that aren't on the walls yet because I did a little office renovation as part of my little spring, end of winter kind of refreshment I was looking to do in my office. So we got new paint on the walls that I'm totally in love with. Fainted Coral by Sherwin-Williams is like my favorite color. I did our guest bedroom downstairs about 2 years ago, and I love it so much, but I'm not in that room hardly ever. So doing it here in my office now brings me all kinds of new joy. And I know my office is a work in progress right now, and I'm having to now record episodes and video and do things in my office with like boxes all over the place, which feels very imperfect. And that's why I'm coming to you today. It's in that imperfect way. I'm also on the heels of coming from our Coterie Mastermind retreat. So there was 12 of us ladies down in Florida just this past week. So a week ago, I was down in the 30A highway area of Florida. That is one of my favorite places on earth. Seaside, Florida, if you've ever heard of it. My family, we've been vacationing down there for since the kids were little. So since like for about 14, 15 years. And so every time I go there and get to bring people there to my special place, it's always just a great time. And this is a retreat that I host about annually in the February kind of months down in Seaside for the Coterie Mastermind. So it's a mix of current Coterie Mastermind members and alumni. So it's really fun. I actually hosted the very first one back in 2019. So it's been really fun to reconnect with alumni in the program who come back every year to engage with me and with other attendees and mastermind on their business. And that's exactly what we did. And every time I do it, I will tell you, like as a retreat host, it fills my cup up. But now I don't know if it's a mix of like, coming on 12 years now of doing retreats, or maybe just like in my older, wiser age now, I'm savoring things so much more. Maybe it's like kind of newfound joy and clarity and new levels that I'm reaching for myself personally and in my business. But man, I felt so good during our time together down there. My cup was so full when I left, and I was left really feeling that I was living into my purpose and like living in alignment and what I was designed to do in this world and the impact I was meant to make. And it feels so good. It feels good when you have that sort of alignment. And so it's really fun. Like I'm coming off of that. And usually after every retreat, like I need a couple of days to kind of get reacquainted, like, kind of get back in the world, get back at home because, family, they need me at home for all the things and, stuff at home. And so I find that those first like couple of days to a week, it usually needs that kind of recovery time. In fact, one of my mentors even said, usually about however many days off you are, or for travel or conferences or retreats or other things, even vacations, that's about how many days you need to get like back acclimated. So don't ever have the expectation when you get home from, being off or traveling, those things that like immediately you're super refreshed and you're ready to jump into all the things. Like, no, actually your brain and your body like kind of needs to like get back on board and get acclimated with everything. So anyway, that's what I've been doing. And so I'm filming today. I've got like cozy camping sweatshirt, which I'm also looking forward to that season coming up with our RV that we used. If you're an RVer, by the way, please come chat with me over on Instagram. I have another account called Southern Style RV. So go check that out. And that's all my camping account. And I keep finding there's new members in our sisterhood or new people, new follows on Instagram that also are camper/glampers as well. And so the season is about to kick up. So you'll hear me talk about that more here in the coming weeks and months. But anyway, so I feel like whenever I put my sweatshirt on, that's like one of my go-to camping sweatshirts. Like I'm in my cozy mode, like I'm in my nature, camping Amber mode. So that's what I'm doing today. All right, well, let's talk about this episode, what I wanted to do. So really, I wanted to go back to my roots, okay? And part of this was spurred by what I'm doing here in the office, because as I had to prepare for the new office renovation, I had to just take things out of drawers and things I've had filed away in boxes and old filing cabinets. And I'm kind of going through everything. And while I'd love it to be done in a single day, no, I have to actually do it kind of step by step, and really go through this stuff and really kind of throw away some things I don't need. Well, one of those things that I come across are old retreat supplies. So old retreat workbooks, journals, even marketing pieces, all the things that I usually keep and hold on to for some time. And now I'm having a moment with all of those things, almost kind of doing some Marie Kondo kind of thing where I'm see it, I appreciate it, I remember for what it was, and then I kind of release it and let it go, because I have memories of those things, or digital, copies or things like that. And so I'm kind of doing a lot of that practice right now. But this week, besides the clean out that's happening, it was the 12th birthday of Inspired. And so what became known as Inspired Retreat. It was originally called Amber Housley Inspired. So that was the name. It was a one-day workshop in downtown Nashville. And over on March 3rd, I celebrated the 12th birthday, 12 years, hundreds of women, dozens of retreats, because there's times when I've done Inspired multiple times in the same year. So I don't even know what number we're on, probably 17 or 18, I think, of that one particular event, even though I do other ones as well. And so it just felt really sweet. And so I was looking actually at photos, because I wanted to celebrate on Instagram Inspired's birthday. And so I actually took some time to go on Dropbox, my online file, folders, and find photos from that very first Inspired that I hadn't even looked at. There's an occasional group photo that I'll usually remember, but not the details. And so I went and I pulled up those details, and I saw what the photos were. And these were the favorite ones that stood out for me. One was the little coaster. There's a little coaster that said Amber Housley Inspired on it that I had made specifically for the event, that felt like a special little detail. There were these really cute colored soda bottles, I think it was an orange crush kind of flavor, or strawberry or something like that. That was very on brand, very cute, with a cute little striped straw. There was journals that I had made that I designed myself with care, with a really great quote and some artwork on the cover of it. There's pictures of me connecting and just chatting with the women who came and joined me. I think there was about 18 or 22 women, somewhere around there, that came and joined me for that very first event. And it's neat to go back and look, because also the photos are kind of got a vintage feel to them, because the filters we used and were popular at that time, everything's a little bit more moody, right? A little darker. And, but the essence of them are still the same. I can still see the invisible strings, if you will, of connecting what that first event was to the events I host today. And it was just really, really sweet. And it just made me think of those early days, and really even before that. I want to talk to you about before I actually became an organizer and a host. I want to talk about the early days where I was an attendee at retreats. And so if you are thinking about hosting retreats and events, you likely might have been encouraged because you've attended other ones. And that's truly what I did in the beginning. I am a lifelong learner. I love learning. I love education. I love getting new skills. And as I was growing my wedding businesses at the time as an invitation designer, and then a wedding planner and stylist, all the things, I would go to a lot of conferences, events, retreats, workshops. And there wasn't at that time, we're talking 12, 14, 15 years ago, there wasn't as much of the educational options that we have today. Okay. There wasn't, and especially for the wedding planning niche, there was a lot for photographers. That's what I remember the most, is the photographer community. They had it made, they had so many options. And so I found myself tagging along with my friends who were photographers and other creatives. And I'd go to those, and I'd be the only wedding person, invitation designer, wedding planner in the room. But I could find a way for the knowledge and the information to apply to my business. And so that's kind of what it first started, was just me soaking that up and observing, and really kind of starting to take notes of man, I think I could do this. I actually saw at that point that wedding planners didn't have an option for education, that invitation designers didn't have an option. And so really I was kind of going out there in the world and observing, taking notes, being a little bit of a detective of sorts and being like, okay, how does this work? How do they do that? And I found myself writing lots of notes about the way they presented things, that the way the agenda worked, the way the timeline worked, right? Like I was a student of the production itself while also getting the information that I needed that was helping my business. And so really, that's like kind of how I started. That's kind of how I really went out there and tasted all the flavors of the rainbow of events and in-person education. So then I could go and bring that and really create something that I thought was something special. And it was. I mean, like here we are 12 years later. I even remember in my first early years, the nerves that I had of doing this thing, right? Of telling others about this idea, this dream I had on my heart and how I wanted it to look like. And I even knew when I had the very first one-day event that was going to be in downtown Nashville, I knew I wanted to start that way. But my dream was to do the all-inclusive, the 4-day, the 3-night experience that I host today, that I'm actually hosting here later in April. And I had that dream and I was like, that's my vision. But I know I got to do like a couple steps. I got to start at the beginning first and really get my feet wet, get things figured out, like see how this works, like actually put together like, this idea I have in my heart, like let's just get it going. Let's get some legs underneath it. Let me work out my kinks. Let's see what works, what doesn't work, right? And then we'll get there to the big dream. I had no doubt in my mind. I didn't know it was going to turn out to what it is now 12 years later. Like it's blown my mind, the impact and the women that I've been able to inspire and encourage and teach and mentor and strategize for, like totally blown my mind. But I knew that there was something there. I knew I was onto something. And so I started at the beginning, right? I started with the 1-day workshop. Did that, went so well, moved it to a 2-day workshop, did that a couple of times, even went and traveled, practiced traveling. I actually went down to St. Pete Beach, Florida. I had customers all over the country. And so I did a poll, I did a survey and was like, which cities should I go to? Right. And Florida, I had a large population that wanted to go to Florida. And so I did that over by Tampa and I did that. And I learned what it's like to travel and host a retreat, which is totally different than doing what I do now, Inspired, which is only 45 minutes from my house. It's just different things, different logistics that are involved. And so really it was that whole trial and error process that brought me to where I am today, 12 years later. And so I want to like just encourage you right now, if you are one of those people who thinks about the someday, or maybe even has that big dream, you want to go all in on the conference, you want to go all in, you want to take people around the world, who knows, whatever it is, right? I want to tell you, like, I saw that too for myself. And then I also knew, hey, like, I want to start at the beginning. I want to like really get this right. Lucky for you, you don't have to do all the trial and error that I did because I'm here to help you. Like I'm here, I support people in bringing their retreats to life and bringing events to life. So you are in the right place listening to this episode. And I have so many other really great retreat episodes. If you go back and listen over the last couple of years, I have shared so many things that I've learned along the way hosting events for my business and how it's been such an impactful piece, not only to my revenue, like that's absolutely important, but also the impact that I know I want to make with my clients and customers. It's been so phenomenal. So I just wanted to take you back there today. This is a short and sweet episode, and also invite you. I am hosting a workshop series here later this month in March. Over 3 weeks, I'm hosting 3 value-packed, no fluff style workshops. I'm not pitching anything, not selling anything. These workshops are totally free, but I wanted to do like a new format. I wanted to go and get some momentum behind the retreat revolution, you could say, because I see so many people seeing this opportunity. Maybe as, over the last 2 years, I've spoken more openly about it and more people are coming to me and asking questions and saying like, could this work for me, Amber? Or Amber, I want to do retreats, but like, can I be profitable? Can I fill up those seats? Like, how do I do retreats like you do? Or how do I do retreats, but like not like you do? Because I'm not into the pink. I'm not into the fluffy flowers and things. Like I'm more this style. I can help you with all of those things. And so you definitely don't want to miss out the workshop series. I am going to go and include a link here in the show notes so you can go and check that out. But I'm hosting it and you don't want to miss it. So if you go to amberhalsey.com/retreat workshop, you can get the link, and it's called Mastering Retreats. And it's going to be a 3-part workshop series all about designing, planning, and booking out, marketing your retreat or live event experience. So I would love to see you there. I hope hundreds of you sign up. And then we'll also be opening doors on Invite and Delight in April with like some all new trainings, all new upgrades that have been asked by the students already in the program that are having awesome results. In fact, in upcoming episodes, you're about to hear from a lot of them because it's been so fun as a teacher and mentor now of retreats and events, seeing others take that information and do their own thing with it. Like it's so fun to see the retreats and the events and the experiences that I've seen created in so many different formats. So it's not like if you see Inspired Retreat that I have, like you don't have to create Inspired Retreat. If you want to create Inspired Retreat, I'll tell you how to do that. I'll show you how to do it. But if you have a different idea in mind for what your in-person experience looks like, I'm going to go ahead and help you every step of the way. So I'm excited. Check out those workshops. Like I said, we'll drop the link here in the show notes, and I would love to see you there. But I hope you enjoyed this little like memory lane kind of inspiration, encouragement episode. I just wanted it to be just that little like kind of peek behind the scenes of what I'm doing here in the office and at home and in business as I'm coming off the Coterie one, as I'm cleaning out the office, as I'm preparing for these workshops here later this month and all these wonderful interviews. Hopefully this episode kind of set you up in the right space to go and join me in that. So I look forward to chatting with you soon. Hop on over also onto Instagram. I know I'm giving you so many directions right now on so many invitations, but I've got a lot of fun party things going on. We're also in the middle of a spring cleaning challenge over on Instagram where we have like one fun task you can do every day to bring like some refreshment and renewal to your business. It's been so fun connecting with a lot of you over there, and I'd love to see you over there in the comments as well. So, all right, friend, wherever you are today, I hope you bloom and grow exactly where you are. I'll see you soon.